Good morning, you guys. This is Rick. Happy New Year's to you. This is the day after New Year's. Of course, it's a work day, so I got to go back to work this afternoon and evening. I've already taken my bottle down and everything. I've got my computer thing looking at me from here, and I'm going to read to you from here. I'm going to get right into today's lessons. I'm going into Proverbs. Just want to get myself in this position because it's easier to read sometimes to just tell you what's going on. Now, what you'll find out about Proverbs is going to teach you about going over to this right side. Doesn't say anything about tossing your nets to the right side, but this woman, they're speaking of this wisdom. The she in her. You got to understand that when they got a girl coming into these scenes, she's the right side of our mind. And of course, I want you to lend me your ear while I read you some of these things. We'll go through the first one or two. We'll go through the important things. All right. With my computer, I can move a little bit quicker. All right. Proverbs. The Proverbs of Solomon, the son of David, king of Israel. All right. Solomon actually means son. It's the king of Israel. At one time, when he first started out, when he was younger, he was good, but then he got caught up in the skin of things and was left wandering in the wilderness. But anyways, as he was older, to know wisdom and instruction, to perceive the words of understanding. That's number 2. Number 3, to receive the instruction of wisdom, justice, and judgment, and equity. I want you to feel wisdom, justice, judgment, and equity. So what it does is it gives the West the wisdom. It gives it gives our North justice, and it gives our body judgment. That's where we get our judgment from. And of course, the East is equity. So it's this idea that's, just becoming even. And it's all, this is what we get. We get knowledge when we go over to this other side. All right. This knowledge of when you sow the seeds, and understand that when you're sowing the seeds, that you're actually understanding the word, and it teaches you how to sow that seed, which is that little child that everyone calls us the New Age movement. Well, it needs to be a New Age movement because it ain't been moving for a long time. All right. That little child and everybody has been given over to Baal. We've been worshiping Baal for thousands and thousands of years and tricked into it. We say tricked into it because if you knew that, hey, could you really look inside all these things? This information is written for us to find, but at the same time, we're told not to find it. All right. And when you do find it, then you catch all kinds of hell. But that's what happens with knowledge, I guess. Number 4 would be to give subtlety to the simple. It says subtlety, subtil, subtlety to the simple, and to the young man knowledge and discretion. 5, a wise man will hear, and he will increase learning, and a man of understanding shall attain unto wise counsel. What this means is that your skin, 5, is your brethren. You're working with the better 5. You're working with better intuitiveness. This is getting your the wise men will hear it at the same time. This is where you get your wise counsel from, because it's the higher conscious that you're being worked with here. The fear of the Lord is the beginning. Number 6, to understand a proverb. Number 6 is your chakra, is the works. To understand a proverb and the interpretations, the words of the wise, and their dark sayings. A dark saying just means occult or hidden. It's hidden. Occult just means hidden. It means it's just not right into your face. All right, but then it is. 7, to fear the fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge. But fools despise wisdom and instructions. All right, let's see. 8. My son, hear the instruction of thy father, and forsake not the law of thy mother. This is 8, about control. For they shall be an ornament of grace unto thy head. For they shall be an ornament of grace unto thy head, and chains about thy neck. My son, if sinners entice thee, consult thy not. All right. So if you like to live in the world of sin, then don't consult her. Consult thy not. This would be a 1. So let's see what it has. For they say, come with us. Let us lay wait for blood. Let us lurk privily for the innocent without cause. It's just that idea. This is going to be a whole list of things that that causes you to go to the other side. And one of them right there was about blood, and they lurk privily for the innocent without cause. Believe it or not, that's that idea of actually believing that you have to kill something innocent in order to get something good out of it. To think that that's good. All right. Well, anyways, it says their number 2. They say, "Come with us." Which 11, you have to understand, 11 becomes a 2, and it starts all over again. Let us lay wait for blood. Let us lurk privily for the innocent without cause. Let us swallow them up alive as the grave, and whole, and those that go down into the pit. 13, we shall find all precious substance. We shall fill our houses with spoil. Cast in the lot among us. Yeah, type of gambling. Let us all have one purse. My son, walk not thou in the ways with them. Refrain thy foot from their path. This is number 6. This is God teaching us. This, you have to understand that they're talking to you. All right? They're not talking to the masses. They're talking to the person reading this book. This person that's looking for a higher place and that can actually read what they're saying. So if you want to be on this outside world, they'll take you and fill your shit with houses with spoil. All right. He says, cast not your lot among us. It's just off. This is my son, not walk thou in the way with them. Right. For their feet run to evil and make haste to shed blood. Surely in vain the net is spread in the sight of any bird. All right. Surely in vain the net is spread in the sight of any bird. And they lay wait for their own blood. They lurk privily for their own lives. So are the ways of everyone that is greedy of gain, which taketh away the life of the owners thereof. Wisdom crieth without. She uttereth her voice in the street. She crieth in the chief place of concourse, in the openings of gates. In the city she uttereth her word, saying, how long, ye simple ones, will ye love simplicity? And the scorners delight in her scorning, and fools hate knowledge. And fools hate knowledge? So I guess these all winds up being question marks. How long, ye simple ones, will ye love simplicity? And the scorners delight in their scorning, and fools hate knowledge? That's another. It says, turn you at my reproof. Behold, I will pour out my spirit unto you. I will make known my words unto you. Because I have called, and ye refused. I have stretched out my hand, and no man regarded. Wow, that's pretty cool. But ye have set a naught of my counsel, and with none of my reproof. and with none of my reproof, and then whatever. 6. So I also will laugh at your calamity. I will mock when your fear cometh. This is this woman, all right? When your fear cometh as desolation, with your destruction cometh as a whirlwind, when distress and anguish cometh upon you, then shall they call upon me, but I will not answer. They shall seek me early, but they shall not find me. Well, this is pretty cool. Number 29, for that they hated knowledge and did not choose the fear of the Lord. And then we got 30, 31, 32, and 33. 30 goes, for with none of my counsel they despised all my reproof. Therefore shall they eat of the fruit of their own way, and be filled with their own devices. For the turning away of the simple shall slay them, and the prosperity of fools shall destroy them. But whoso hearken unto me shall dwell safely, and shall be quiet from the fear of evil. All right, you guys, that was the introduction of Proverbs, where it's basically setting you up where God introduces you to this female side. He tells you what a wonderful thing it is, but he also knows that there's another way for you to go as well. That side is not so great. And so she even comes in to tell you that, I tried to get in there. I've tried, but you didn't want to put anything out. Basically, it's just that there's always there's someone else out there. It's this idea of clinging to the lower, which is what the meaning, which is your heart. When I say where all the evil comes from, you can also turn that heart around and bring it into something else. All right. So Proverbs is a way of learning about what we're talking about, how to learn what the wise guys are saying, the wise men are saying, and gives you this idea that, hey, where does she come from? This wisdom, where's this thing, and you find it. The well is the truth. So, truth it's about wisdom. And of course, fish and stuff like that are individual truths. That's what, when you pull up 153 fish from tossing your nets over to the right side, that's the number 9. And, and it's brain food, fish, it's a type of brain food. And the oil and all that stuff's supposed to be good for you. But anyways, Proverbs 2 is going to be talking about the person. All right, the whole chapter of 2. All right. My son, if thou wilt receive my words and hide my commandments with thee, so that thou incline thine ear unto wisdom and apply thy heart unto understanding. Yea, if thou criest after knowledge and lift up thy voice for understanding, for thou seekest her as silver, for thou seekest her as silver, and searchest her as for hidden treasure. Then thou shalt understand the fear of the Lord, and find the knowledge of God. That's number 5. For the Lord giveth wisdom, out of his mouth cometh knowledge and understanding. 7. He layeth up sound wisdom for the righteous. He is the buckler to them that walk uprightly. So he's the one that helps us out. 7. He layeth up sound wisdom for the righteous. He's the buckler for the walk of uprightly. Okay, 7. All right, wrote that twice. He keepeth the path of judgment, and preserveth the way of his saints. Then shalt thou understand righteousness and judgment and equality, yea, every good path. When wisdom entereth into thine heart, and knowledge is pleasant unto thy soul, Discretion shall preserve thee, understanding shall keep thee, to deliver thee from the way of the evil man, from the man that speaketh forwardly of things. This is a short one, all right? For leave the paths of uprightnesses to walk in the ways of darkness, who rejoice to do evil and delight in the forwardness of wickedness, whose ways are crooked, and who they forward in their paths, to deliver thee from the strange woman, even from the stranger with flattereth her words, with her words. All right. So that's a preacher. All right. And of course, religion, right? The bitch. Right. Forsaketh us, here's number 8, which forsaketh the guide of her youth, and forgetteth the covenant of her God. For her house inclineth unto death, and her paths unto the dead. Not that go unto her return again, neither take thy hold of the paths of life, that thou mayest walk in the way of good men, and keep the paths of the righteous. For the upright shall dwell in the land, and the perfect shall remain in it. But the wicked shall be cut off from earth, and the transgressors shall be rooted out of it. It's nothing about, real earth. The idea is that, just wanting you to follow this path. I will take all that. He will uproot you. He'll take care of that part. He'll do all the cleaning, right? You don't have to do any of that yourself. That's number 2. So we hear a little bit more. This is coming right out. I don't know why I never heard it before in my life. It seems to be the first time ever. Let's go to 3. This would be the combination of the joining of this or not, because what we're getting out of this is the story showing you one way, and should perhaps if you go this other way. So, each one of these is given their own little pro and con, showing you of the only two places that you can go. And this is only about how to serve God. You're going to serve these two masters, which he is both of these masters. You're going to serve this evil side of him by reading things by the letter and taking things off the surface and going to this outside man and this stranger man and this, woman. Instead of going the one that's inside of you, she's the one. It's got to start telling us where she is or something, because they have to make a good notice. They have to make it clear that she is within us and not this person that's on the corner, right? It just have to be that way. All right. Number 3, my son, forget not my law, but let thine heart keep my commandments. All right. For length of days and long life and peace shall they be, so they added to thee. Let not mercy and truth forsake thee. Bind them about the neck. Write them about the table of thine heart. Now, the neck is very important because this is the bridge. This place here is above and below. If we, when Judas goes and kills himself, he hangs himself. This is this idea about around the neck. This is the 6. This is, the 6th chakra is up here, but this idea is where 5 is, your heart. You're cutting off what's above from what is below. All right, so that neck is very important all the time. It's the bridge between the two. And so you would think of that as number 6. There's a bridge between 6 and 7. There's that little bridge. So it's a place between what is the body and what is what is above, the brethren. It's just interesting that way. All right, number 5, it says here, trust in the Lord with all thine heart, and lean not into thine own understanding. which is what you learn from the outside. It doesn't mean, like I get it all the time, that this is my understanding of this. And basically, once you find out about the word and you find out how to read it, there is only one way to read it. And this, if you just took the surface text, there's 5,000 ways of doing that, and there's over 50 new books written on this and different ways of saying these things that don't have any of these words in it. So those are the ones that are, they are, unchanging. It's only one side to that text. And over here, this offers up salvation, like the Tao, and like Buddhism, and like the scriptures also in Hindu. Just whether or not you can see them, don't care if you understand it or not, but yeah, they offer up salvation. They all do. Once you see it, you have to understand it. It's almost like a rite of passage. You have to go through hell to get to heaven. Let's see, but be not wise in thine own eyes. Fear the Lord and depart from evil. This is number 7. It shall be health to thy navel and marrow to thy bone. This is all good stuff. Honor the Lord with thy substance and with the first fruits of all thine increase. That's your firstborn, of course. All right. So shall thy barns be filled with plenty, and thy presses shall burst out with new wine. That just means storehouse is full. Remember we were talking about that as that was Joseph in the Technicolor Dream Coach. He's the one that talking about famine and how let's fill them to the brim. Fill them to the neck with food, right? And then how it talks about the sack, talking to them like they're sacks. Fill the men's sack with food all the way up to the neck. But you have to understand that that's symbolism. That's dark sayings. That's what he's talking about. It's beautiful. Number 11, which is 2. My son, despite not the chastening of the Lord, or despite not the chastening, chastening, is that how it is, of the Lord? Neither be weary of his correction. For whom the Lord loveth, he correcteth. For whom the Lord loveth, he correcteth, even as a father, the son in whom he delighteth. All right? This is all really good, positive stuff. She is more precious than rubies. All right? They called her silver early. Remember tossing silver into the street? You got to understand how these stories all work together. In some way, they're teaching us, that's the silver they're talking about. She is better than all this stuff. She is your silver. She's the silver, the side of us that you toss into the streets and go for the whore. That's what that means. And you'll understand that idea of the full moon. The moon is going to go dark. The sun won't give its light. You have to understand all these wonderful things coming in here. Oh, let's see. She is more precious than rubies, and all the things thou canst desire are not to be compared unto her. Length of days in her right hand, and in her left hand riches and honor. Right and left side, she gives us the riches and honors. This is what happens when you connect mom and dad together, when you observing the law. Her ways are ways of pleasantness, and all her paths are peace. She is a tree of life. Oh my God. She is a tree of life to them that lay hold upon her. And happy is everyone that retaineth her. Listen, in the Hindu they talk about, when you see that tree, you got to run for it, man. You want to get it. You want that tree terribly. It's our sense of meat. They talk about meat is food. It's our substance. This is where we go to. They use that word meat as in MEAT, as in food. All right. And they're telling you right here that she's the tree of life. This is the Kundalini, this whole idea of, she's in the right side of of Eden. You understand, guys? Anytime they talk about a girl in here, it's going to be the right side of our brain. Number 19, actually, she becomes 9. 18 is number 9. So she is the tree of life to them that lay hold upon her. All right, we lay hold upon her with our hand. The Lord, thy wisdom has founded the earth. What a terrible reader. By understanding hath established the heavens. By his knowledge the depths are broken up, and the clouds drop down the dew. My son, let not them depart from thine eyes. Keep sound wisdom and discretion. All right. So they shall be life upon your soul and grace to thy neck. Then shalt you walk in the way of safety, and thy foot shall not stumble. When thou liest down, thou shalt not be afraid, yea, thou shalt lie down, and thy sleep shall be sweet. Be not afraid of sudden fear, neither of the desolation of the wicked when it cometh. For the Lord shall be thy confidence, and shall keep thy foot from being taken. Without not good from them, without not good from them to whom it is due, when it is the power of thine hand to do it. Say not unto thy neighbor, go and come again, and tomorrow I will give. Let thou hast it be thee. Devise not evil against thy neighbor, seeing he dwelleth securely by thee. Talking about your neighbor is the, you don't want to think bad about it. The neighbor is you. And when they talk about, like I used to say, oh, goddamn, you're using God's name in vain. No. The idea is when you say something terrible about yourself, like you hate yourself or you're not worthy of this, that you're, that something is better than you are, something like that. This is blaspheming against the self. All right. If you want to say self-worship, you're not going to go around telling yourself that you're the best thing in the world and stuff like that. But you can say things that, with God, you're light, and that you're not despicable, and you're not a sinner, you're not worthless. All of those things bring your body down, and you lose this side of you that's being that God loves. That you are the best thing on earth. You are the light of the world. And anything contrary to that is blaspheming and using God's name in vain. It says, strive not with man without a cause. See, I've done thee no harm. Let's see, devise no evil against thy neighbor. Okay, we got it right. 31 says, envy thou not the oppressor, and choose none of his ways. All right, so we don't want the oppressor. For the forward is abomination to the Lord, but his secret is with the righteous. The curse of the Lord is in the house of the wicked, but he blesseth the habitation of the just. The curse of the Lord is in the house of the wicked, but he blesseth the inhabitant of the just. Surely he scorneth the scorners, but he giveth grace unto the lowly. The wise shall inherit glory, but shame shall be the promotion of fools. That ended up on 8. I'm not going to go and do any more of these. It goes on for some time. You can go and read them yourself, but this idea that when you go to 4, you're going to be finding out about the world. Let's see. We'd see if we see what happens. What kind of interest we get out of the next one. For I give you good doctrine, forsake my law. For I was my father's son's tendon. He taught me. All right, so 4. Oh my goodness. Here it goes here. Exalt her, the principle of wisdom. Get wisdom, get understanding, forget it not. Neither decline from the words of my mouth. This is 5. Forsake her not, for she shall preserve thee. Love her, and she shall keep thee. Wisdom is the principal thing. Therefore get wisdom. And with all thy getting, get understanding. Exalt her, and she shall promote thee. She shall bring thee into honor, and thou dost embrace her. She shall give to the divine head an ornament of grace, a crown of glory. She shall deliver thee. Oh, hear my son. It says, number 10, it says, hear, oh, my son, and receive my sayings, and the years of thy life shall be many. I have taught in thee in the way of wisdom. I have led thee in the light paths. La 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 la. Steps shall not be straight and la la la. Take fast. Listen, I'm going to have to get back into work to get everything done. But do you understand that this entire business of Proverbs is teaching you? Did you just hear how she will be the one that brings you the crown? This is the idea, the 7. This is so beautiful. And if you can't hear what I'm saying, if you can't read this, you'll hear it, you'll understand it yourself. This is talking about you and this choice that you make between either being inside or outside. And that's basically it. That's all they're really talking about, inside and outside. And all these stories are the same like that. But how beautiful. Here it is. Here's this girl. Here's this woman that's been hidden from us. You know, she's amazing. Just amazing. All right. You guys have a beautiful day. And good morning. It's really cold down here in Key West. We're supposed to get some rain. We'll see how well it all works out. Damn, got a frog. All right, you guys, take care of yourselves. Go and check this out. This is 4. 5 is going to be about the skin, so you should hear skin things. And 6, it's going to be talking about the works. When you go and listen to the works, you'll see how much she's a part. Should we do it? Should we do it? Gosh, darn it. Oh, here's 5. How they both at. Okay, let's keep going. Let's go to 6. Let's go to 6, which should be about the works, right? Right? Because that's how we're teaching you, or how I'm teaching you to understand what is being said by using a code to do it. 6 is about the works. My son, thou surely be surely for thy friend. If thou hast stricken thy hand with a stranger. All right, so it's going to start off as being, if you have stricken thy hand with the stranger, you know that's not going to go on the good side. 2, thou art snared with the words of thy mouth. Thou art taken with the words of thy mouth. That's so the physical side of things. Do this now, my son, and deliver thyself. This is number 3. And thou art come into the hand of thy friend. Go, humble thyself, and make sure thy friend. Give not sleep to thine eyes, nor slumber to thine eyelids. All right. Deliver thyself as a roe from the hand of the hunter. All right. And as a bird from the hand of the fowler. Go to the ant, the sluggard. Consider her ways and be wise. Which having no guide oversees or ruler. She has no guide, no overseer, and no ruler. Provideth her meat in the summer, and grant her food in the harvest. 9. How long wilt thou sleep, O sluggard? When wilt thou arise out of thy sleep? Yet a little sleep, a little slumber, a little folding of the hands to sleep. So shall the poverty come as one of that travelleth, and thy want as an armed man. A naughty person, a wicked man, walketh with the forward mouth. A naughty person, a wicked man, walketh with the forward mouth. He winketh with his eyes. He speaketh with his feet. He teaches with his fingers. Forwardly. Listen, you guys, this is really cool. This is the opposite side of the 6 that's going on. Let me get down here. To keep thee from the evil woman. He's telling you, this is what you have to do to keep away from this. Not to slumber. You can close your eyes, but this is that idea of meditation. It's just the coolest shit. There's the lust, keep from the evil woman, from the flattery of the tongue of the strange woman. Lust not after her beauty in thine heart, neither let her take thee with her eyelids. Means don't look at anything, even if she's precious and pretty and beautiful and all that, For by means of whorish woman a man is brought to a piece of bread, and the adulteress will hunt for the precious life. Can a man take fire from his bosom and his clothes not be burned? Can one, this is the bad thing, oh man, if you're going to take the fire from your bosom, will he not be burned? Hell yeah, you take God out of you, you're going to be burned, baby. You're going to be burned. I'm glad we did this. What it says, so he hath goeth into his neighbor's wife. Whosoever touches her shall not be innocent. Oh my goodness, you guys. This is tying up things from the Old Testament, which, neighbor is a wife. This is, you don't go do your neighbor's wife, all right? And it also talks about the bitch in Revelations. This is the woman. This is the whore. And you got to understand that this ties everybody into one big story. It's just the coolest shit on earth, you guys. Go and check out Proverbs. Go get some wisdom. Go learn a little bit more. This is the coolest stuff on earth, you guys. I fell asleep kind of listening to it last night. It's about an hour and a half or so long. If you have an audio book, certainly it's going to be a lot quicker than me reading it to you. How cool. How cool. What a wonderful little chapter here. This is about the 2 sides of your brain, talking about where you get this wisdom from and this knowledge, That's where they're saying, where's this Ozark Mountain hillbilly talking all this shit? Anyways, you guys have a great time. Best to you. Love and all that stuff. And a happy, happy, happy new year to you.